All right, I'm back with another video. This time I'm looking at the accompaniment for the song Marryuna, which is part of the Unit 3 ATAR designated works. So let's get into it. First and most basic is the instrumentation. You've got to remember that this is recorded in a studio, probably with hundreds and hundreds of different takes and tracks and put together, and it roughly sounds like these instruments. It's not an exact representation. So we've got the piano, which is pretty simple. The rhythm guitar is not a special guitar, it's just a way of playing guitar. So we've got two guitars that only play rhythm stuff rather than a solo or lead guitar. The didgeridoo, probably interesting to note that in this case the didgeridoo is tuned, so you can see it's playing different notes. So that might not be the usual way a didgeridoo is played. We've got electric bass. I've added in a riser or an effects track. So the riser is kind of like a cymbal swell but reversed. You can look them up. A riser, they have different sounds to them. And then there's a shaker. This little thing here means repeat a shaker pattern, which is back here somewhere, which I've cut off. Got a cowbell that repeats throughout the chorus and tag, and then a nice big fat drum beat. So that's the instrumentation. Harmony. Now harmony looks pretty simple. It's a little 3-chord song, but I think there's still some interest here. One of the main things is this minor 5. So usually, we're sort of taught, I guess, that this is a dominant 5 or a C7 or something like that. But in contemporary and pop music, a lot of the time you use a minor 5. So it sounds like this. And I guess if you use the major 5 or the dominant 5, then it kind of sounds a little bit dated or a little bit classic. So it's a bit like a concerto. Yeah, so it dates it just a little bit. So if you think of a song like Begging, that has a dominant 5, whereas Chainsmokers, something like that, has a lot of minor 5s in them. Some other interesting things with the harmony is that those old Bach classic songwriting cadence rules come in here. You can see that there's the rhythm guitarist is looking for a common tone as he goes through here. So F is the common tone here, F is still a common tone, F is not a common tone of C, so he goes down to E flat, and then back up to F, the common tone again. So, I don't know what that means. The guitarist wouldn't have said, I'm going to play some Bach harmony rules through here, but it's the same thing, but just a different way of doing the same thing. The electric bass has some interesting notes here. It goes up to the 9th here in this little bass figure. And then this little part at the end here is got a nice little chromatic part. So what does that sound? Oh yeah, what happens at the end there? Back to the tonic. I had to finish it, sorry, it didn't sound right, not finished. Okay, let's move on. Get off, go forward. Rhythm, of course, lots of happening things here in the rhythm. First off, we've got this syncopated rhythm here. Now, if we slowed that down, we'd have classic reggae. So we go. So that offbeat on the guitar would be classic reggae. Because it's faster, it's probably considered ska, which is SKA music, tends to be a little bit faster. Then we've got obviously a syncopated rhythm through here in the 16th notes, and that's kind of mimicking the cowbell a little bit, which you can go and look at the score on that previous page. A very similar sort of cowbell rhythm where there's lots of syncopated rhythms there. And then down here in the bass, obviously we've got a syncopated bass line here, but it's almost a rule in contemporary music, I would say, that the kick drum and bass basically play the same beats. You can see it's not quite true, but it's pretty close to a rule that the kick drum and bass guitar should be playing exactly the same beats. It's not quite a rule, but close. About as close as you can get to a rule, I think. The breakdown, fairly obviously this is done as a half-time feel, and you can tell that because mainly I've put the snare beat, which used to be on beats 2 and 4, is now on beats 3. So essentially it's going 1, 3, 1, 3, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also tell that this offbeat rhythm up here is now no longer got quaver note, quaver note. It's now going crotchet and then crotchet. So there's some of that for you. One of the big features of the song is the way there's a contrast between the verse and the chorus, and so there's no real way of drawing that, but this is something worth noting. I've got a question here. Write a suitable drum part for a contemporary song. Woohoo! Okay, so first off we need a clef. Then we need to either know the names of where things are or just label it. So you could actually just go kick. So then you would draw a kick note and then snare. I'm not going to do it, but then you could put snare here. And then if you didn't know where your hi-hat was going to be, you could just put that anywhere. And hi-hat is across like this. And the stems go down on these guys. This is not too bad with this silly pen. I'm not sure. It's not a silly pen, it's a good pen. Now, this is not the drum beat for Marryuna, but it's probably close enough to get you a mark or something like that. So that's that. Oh, that's written by like a 1-year-old. Oh, well, too late, done it now. What's on the last one? Oh no, go back. Here we go. Another tricky question for you. The guitarist is a moron. Convert these notes to tab for him. Realistic exam question. If only I could put this exam question in. Okay, so this note here we've got to work out. This is an F. Guitar, the lowest F a guitar plays is down here somewhere. So that F there would be 1 down here. So we've got to find ourselves a higher F. Well, should I explain it? That string is E, A, every good. I've done that wrong. D, G, B, E. So we would find ourselves a higher F. So this is B. Maybe we would have to go up there to like 3 on that string. Then we go 3. What do we got here? A flat. Don't forget the key signature. A flat is 1 higher than G sharp. G, sorry, it's 1 higher than G, so that goes there. Then back to 3. Then we've got to go down 2. This is E flat. Don't forget the key signature. So this goes down to 1. Then back to 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And if you're being super fancy, you might even put this rest in. There you go, moron guitarist. I've written it out for you. Yeah, okay. That's it. That's all the questions I've got for you. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you soon.